Welcome to On the Point Podcast, a podcast for all things Overwatch with a heavy focus on League, and this time around, World Cup. We're going to be discussing roster moves, weekly matchups, and, like I said, this time around, World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Katie, I am the casual.
I'm CJ, and I have a problem.
You're the expert.
I don't like saying that because there are people who get paid to do this and know more than me.
Yes, but they get paid to know more than you. In terms of this podcast,
True.
You are the expert.
True. And speaking of which, we're going to start off with one of the breaking news items to come out of BlizzCon, which is that OG eats Lucio O's with water.
Why? Oh, God, I was watching this go down.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I have done enough panels and enough discussion panels and enough press and one-on-one interviews that I was watching these final rounds on Saturday and just crying. Oh my God, between the cereal thing, the pom-poms, shotgunning the maple syrup, and then interrupting Mika's interview with XQC to go give away his stuff, she lived my press nightmare and walked away with a plum. That woman is life goals. Yeah. But I felt for her and I felt for Golden Boy because I have definitely tried to wrangle some pretty crazy stuff. And for those of you who watch my shows on AfterBuzz, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm just like, I only have to do it for an hour at a stretch. You're doing this for 2 whole days. Mm-hmm. Bless. Mm-hmm. Bless.
Golden Boy especially looked like he looked like he needed a double whiskey just every time the camera was about to cut away.
Golden Boy's job was to wrangle all of them. And wrangling is the most difficult thing you can do when you are streaming live and there are no cutaways and no redos.
Yes, and also having... I was at Guildhall the other night with half of the Overwatch casters there, and we'll talk about that a little more at the end of the show. But man, they are a rowdy bunch.
Yes. Yes, they are. It's just, oh my God, I was feeling for Golden Boy, y'all. I have been the lead host when the panel turns into a train wreck, and for me, I have a hard out at 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Not him.
Also, when Golden Boy is the voice of reason, instead of being the one saying cheeky T-Mobile references, you know things are going off the rails.
I mean, I appreciated the dunce hat getting passed around. I thought that was hysterical. But just Friday was relatively sane, with the exception of let's go give away XQC stuff during an interview, which for me was just crying.
Although the matchups were where things got absolutely crazy.
Yeah. But Saturday on the desk was just like, nobody slept last night. Everyone might still be a little drunk. All right, let's go. They were probably not still a little drunk, but boy, were they rowdy.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's not a difference.
It's very true. At a certain point, when the shit posting happens, there's a certain inertia to it that's just very hard to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that hype train had no brakes.
No.
It needed brakes. It did not have them.
Yeah.
This is what happened. When you get to the point where you are shotgunning an entire bottle of maple syrup, you're done. You are past the point of no return. You probably passed it 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I feel for Mika and I really feel for Golden Boy.
Mika looked like she was having fun. When she was bouncing around the floor from interview to interview, she looked like she was having the time of her life.
Oh yeah, just that one particular point of, well, I'm supposed to be interviewing and I have lost control of literally everything that's happening right now.
Oh, she at least from my vantage point, she looked like she was laughing her ass off about it.
Like I said, that is my press nightmare.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's just okay, more power to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But the desk.
Yeah, the desk.
Bless this mess. Mm-hmm. I love the desk.
All right, we've talked about the desk. Let's get into the World Cup proper here, which I don't think anyone is too shocked by the outcome, even though it seemed going into it like the United States might kind of have a reasonable shot.
Oh my God.
It seemed like that skill gap had closed a lot, but South Korea wins again.
All it takes is one bad day, you know?
It really does.
And it was one bad day for almost everyone on Forever. All of the favorites on Friday.
All the people who, really... Really the only one that people were, thinking really had a shot to go all the way to the end and face Korea again that didn't get knocked out in the first day was Canada.
Yeah.
And not to say that China didn't have some high expectations going in, but, you know, the question was, how were they going to do when they were facing a lot stiffer competition? Because aside from Australia, they were the Bangkok qualifier, right?
I
think
believe so. China's world
Oh, yeah,
stage...
no, it was Bangkok because they were facing against Thailand. But, yeah, the competition was a lot lighter there than it kind of had been in the other regions.
Yeah. And it's a bit like we were looking at Brazil last time we talked, where they play well, they play incredibly well for their region, but their region doesn't have the stiffest competition.
Yeah, and at a certain point, there's only so good you can get facing competition that isn't, you know, basically when you
up to your standard.
Yeah. When you're not challenged consistently, it's easy to sort of
stagnate.
Yeah, to stagnate or to sort of regress even.
Yeah.
So
it's the difference between playing AI and going and playing quick play.
It's true.
You develop bad habits playing AI.
Yes, you do. So first match, Team UK outperforms everybody's expectations by taking out Team USA in the very first round.
Didn't UK initially mention that they would be happy just to take a map? Like they would consider that a win?
Yeah, and I think that everyone kind of this was one of the two that I think everyone was like, the foregone conclusions going in, Team Australia versus Team South Korea, and Team UK versus Team US. And it definitely didn't go the way that everyone was expecting, and you could feel the energy in the arena change very dramatically, map by map. And when they tried to start the UK chant after the match, that was one of the funniest things ever, where they're like, "Let's go!" and the crowd's just fucking dead. There is no response at all. And the UK guys just crack up because someone just backed a fucking dump truck of salt right up into the arena and just spread that all over the place. It was just...
I mean, it's almost like BlizzCon takes place in the USA.
Yeah.
Almost.
UK like ripped the soul out of the crowd for a little bit. Took them some time to...
It's a hard thing to recover from, watching your home team go down.
It is, especially when they started off so strong, when they looked really good on that first map.
But then you watch it fall apart in real time.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to a couple things. First off, Team UK had a major upgrade at the main tank position. Christopher's good, he's a veteran, but Fusion's is the main tank of British Hurricane, and I think we talked about this a little bit before. Very good Reinhardt, someone who has a lot of experience running triple and quad tank compositions, because... in EU contenders, that's kind of the bread and butter. And he's also an in-game leader, and I think that in-game leadership and his top-tier Rhine play made a huge difference. And getting to work with Hayes, the coach of the Philly Fusion, really went a long way towards bringing the best out of him. Because now he's playing with, top-tier, people in every position. He's got a top-tier coach. Cruz also turned up huge, and a lot of the players in the tournament, including two people from South Korea, I'm trying to remember who, but I think it was Carpe and Animo, who said that Cruz was like the hardest guy to play against in the tournament, which is...
saying something from Carpe and Animo.
Yes. And also, props to Mikey A. He showed up big on the DPS, his Zarya was good, and also, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of satisfying after Sinatra killed and teabagged him that he came back and spent the rest of the match spanking Sinatra.
Yeah, you don't do that. There's manners, guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was kind of a... Obviously, I'm okay with a little bit of BM, but Sinatra maybe goes a little heavy with that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
So yeah, I think Team USA came in very confident for this. I think everyone kind of came in confident for Team USA on this.
Which is a problem.
It is, because at a certain point you get cocky. And Arrow says that he felt like the team was very well prepared. They had a lot of strategies in place for the things that they encountered. They were dominant in scrims, but on the day of, it just didn't quite come together, and sometimes that happens. You can be as prepared as you want, but when the time comes to put up or shut up, sometimes you just can't find that gear for one reason or another.
Yeah, like I said, one bad day. You see this happen a lot for any kind of team, any kind of event. All it takes is just one day when you cannot get your act together. And this was it for the U.S.
It was. And the thing that kind of makes it... Arrow did a VOD review of the game on his stream, which was very informative. And I also... Anyone listening to this, go watch Arrow's VOD reviews. They're very informative, they're very interesting, and they give you a great insight into sort of the high-level tactical thinking of Overwatch. He said that the players kind of started to sag under the pressure as it became clear that the game was getting away from them. He mentioned specifically when the crowd's chanting, USA, USA, trying to, will the team back into it, and they still feel the game slipping away. It just made them feel worse.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I felt really bad for them in that situation. The other thing is the UK was running Goats Comp a lot, and I know we've talked about this before, but it's Ryan, Zarya, Diva, Brigitte, Lucio, and then either
Moira usually.
Well, either Moira, Zen, or Ana. Okay. There's some flexibility with that now, and Zen's kind of the more favored one right now, because
he's extra DPS.
Yeah, well, because he's extra DPS, and also because Shield Bash the Rhine, Discord the Rhine, everyone hit the Rhine at the same time. The enemy's Rhine just evaporates.
Goes down, yeah.
He is banished to the ether. And so, yeah, Zen is kind of seems to be the one that's in vogue at the moment.
Well, a tank breaker is really good against a multi-tank comp.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Mm-hmm. And Cruz from UK, when he was reviewing the VOD on his stream, says that he kind of thought that Arrow underestimated the micro plays and strategies and sort of the little things that go into making Goats Comp run as to its full effectiveness. And to a degree, I think that was kind of true. Arrow kind of in the past said that he thought that the coaches in the UK leaned on Goats a little too much, and it was beatable if you had the perspective and really analyzed it. And honestly, I think a lot of his answers to it, they were making the right swaps and having the right characters in to counter it. It just didn't end up coming together. But yeah, Cruz didn't think that Arrow had the sort of full understanding of how to make Goats work to the highest degree possible, because Goats is often kind of perceived as a low skill comp.
Well, yeah, anyone can play Goats comp. Yeah. Not everyone can play Goats comp well.
Yeah, and especially...
And that's really what it takes.
Yeah.
Any quick play team can pull together Goats comp if everyone knows what it is, but that doesn't mean they're going to stick it together. That doesn't mean they're going to win.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who has played a lot of quick play recently. Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was bad.
So I think that Team USA's loss comes to UK turning up in a way that people weren't expecting, maybe even themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Having that good in-game leadership, having the experience playing their composition and sort of forcing the US to play their game. The US kind of... their mentality crumbling a little bit as the game started to slip away from them. And I think all that just kind of came together to create a situation where once UK started to gain momentum, the US started losing it just as fast.
It was a hell of a game.
It was. It was an awesome game to watch, and I want to go back and review it more thoroughly and just kind of watch the tank play, because one of the recurring things that happened throughout this tournament is Fusions was clapping the best tanks in the world just left and right. He was battering Muma. He got the better of Fate a bunch of times. It was just... I thought the dude was good, but oh my god. He's so much better than I had given him credit for, and I had already rated him pretty highly.
But I mean, watching all of these matches, and I do mean all of them, even the foregone conclusion ones, everyone turned up.
Yeah.
And I know this is getting a bit ahead in the notes with Team Australia, but most of the chatter that I saw afterwards was, well, yeah, we knew that South Korea was going to win. We knew this was the longest of shots for Team Australia. But South Korea didn't completely steamroller them. It was 3-0, but it was a very, very hard-fought 3-0.
Yeah.
All of the... most of the ones on day one were 3-0, except for... UK, which was 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
But they were all incredibly hard fought. Like,
Yes.
it wasn't just an easy sweep.
Yeah.
And the push I saw was for Team Australia to get to essentially do their tryouts again, because Australian internet is so bad.
Yeah.
And they were competing, they had a massive disadvantage competing against people in the same skill level, but with better connections. People who live in the land of Google Fiber. So I saw a very big push for Team Australia to get to essentially redo their tryouts for contenders and whatnot.
And for Overwatch League, because Trill, the main tank for Team Australia, was doing Overwatch League trials at 330 ping.
Which is nothing.
330 ping is 10 times worse than what I play at.
I mean, they were basically doing it at less than hotel internet.
Yeah.
They could have played better staying in the hotels near the Anaheim Convention Center and using the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and of course, you know, the World Cup is on LAN and everything, but
Yeah.
the trials that you're going to be doing to get into Overwatch League and contenders teams are not going to be on LAN.
And if you get a lag, you're hosed. At that skill level, you're just completely hosed. There's no reason that the people from Team Australia shouldn't be getting picked up, given the way that they played in their regional matches and here. Like, they made it here. They had a showing against South Korea. There's no reason that we should only have one person from Australia and one person from New Zealand in all of Overwatch League. I love Custa. Custa is my man. We need more Aussies, especially given how well this team showed up.
Yeah, Trill, Punk, everyone really.
Everyone.
They all
it was
look
a solid
good.
team.
Yeah, and they've all definitely deserved to be at the very least, you know, high end of contenders, or they've earned a spot in Overwatch League, and we've got a couple teams still have stuff to fill. But we'll
and it's their location that worked against them, because Australia is known for terrible internet and murderous fauna.
Yes.
The terrible internet is what comes into play here. The fauna, I feel like you learn to live with.
And casual swearing on the level of Finland. And speaking of Finland, see that segue?
Finland.
We hop onto the segue here.
Oh, Finland.
Yeah, and
That was another one where I was just like, what the hell is happening today?
Yeah, especially because, again, Finland looked phenomenally strong in the group stages and were apparently kicking ass in scrims. And this was, like, I think this was an upset, though maybe not on the same scale, especially after Finland took South Korea to the absolute limit in the qualifier game that they had, where they went to game 5 and they went to the third map.
Third round of
third
game
round
5,
on
99-99.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And of course, China looked like they were on another letter.
Level?
I
like a novel.
a novel.
You're
They
still
were
mourning over Finland.
Yeah. Totally.
Can I just say that one of the things I really appreciated about this was the little videos for here's how you cheer for our team. So that people who, you know, you come in knowing USA, or you come in knowing the French national anthem. Like, you come in knowing your team, but when your team's not playing, well, pick a side, cheer for someone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's how you do it.
Oh yeah, I was sitting with the Finnish. I was sitting in the Finnish section, and I was next to a couple from Finland who's actually there at BlizzCon on their honeymoon.
Oh,
I know, it was really cute.
Oh,
And well, yeah. But hey, they also, Finland got the first non-Korean BlizzCon champion in StarCraft.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Cyril. So they got something.
Yes.
But
it just wasn't an Overwatch.
I appreciated the Finland chant was Torile, because Torile is like, the best way to put it is, you know how when something really jingoistic happens, you go like, America. Imagine that, but unironic.
Wow.
That's what Torile is. It's basically just like a thing of just like, hey, they're talking about Finland, Torile. Like,
It's the it me of chance.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's just essentially fuck yeah, Finland. Like,
And I do love that Australia's was Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
well,
like,
what the hell else is it gonna be?
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely had friends in the Australia cheering section.
Oh, yeah, no,
Showed up quite a bit late.
Yeah.
Briggsy.
Oh yeah, well she was sitting next to
wonderful.
me. She was sitting next to me in Finland for most of it, and went over there during the Aussie game and sat next to Alyssa over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, those two have thrown in hard for Australia from the beginning.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, our man Custa. Mm-hmm. And just, again, that whole team showed up.
Your Lord and
so
Savior,
well.
Scott Kennedy.
Not quite.
But yeah, so China looked like they were on another level compared to the competition that they were facing in their group stage, and this was going to be the first real test. Finland was a team that had played together for a very long time. They were really good at the GOATS comp and were apparently just mauling people with it in scrims. Everyone said that they just had some different way of doing it that, you know, they looked incredible.
Again, the difference between doing it and doing it well.
Mm-hmm. And again, they looked good doing it in the past, but they lost the first map via C9.
Which is just one of those, like, really? Really?
Oh yeah, okay. I saw the charge and I saw Zappos moving away at the same time, and I was just sitting there like, no! No! Like...
There is a reason that one of the best-selling shirts on my shop is, if found, please return to the payload.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all. It's the map objective.
Mm-hmm. And it was very frustrating, and it kind of set the tone for the evening for Finland. They looked messy. They looked a lot sloppier. Like, they were always a very scrappy team. You kind of have to be when Fraggy is on the main tank for you. But they just looked way less coordinated than they did in the group stages.
I have to wonder if coming to BlizzCon through some of these teams, just the whole, holy shit, we're at BlizzCon of all of it.
True, although Fraggy's someone who's, you know, played at the... Most of Finland is Overwatch League players who have been playing Overwatch since pretty much the scene's founding, or at the very least a very long time. And they've been in LAN environments before.
True, but you can still... You can do something for years and then wind up on a big stage and have it rattle you. I'm not saying that they're not skilled or that it was the environment themselves. I'm saying that for some people, for some teams, who knows, it might have been the, oh my god, we're at BlizzCon. This is it. This is for all the marbles.
Yeah. And
the world is watching.
It very well may be. I just feel like Finland is experienced enough that they wouldn't get those stage jitters in that way. It's possible. That's my take.
I mean, everyone does. The biggest pros do. It's why you occasionally see football teams crash and burn at the Super Bowl. And I say that as a Broncos fan. But it happens to everyone.
It does.
And I would not be surprised if that was a factor in some of these teams that performed so well in scrims and in other matches, showing up here and then not playing up to standard.
Yeah.
Because you mess up once and then we're at BlizzCon and the world is watching and we just C9'd.
Yeah.
And then it just gets worse.
And another thing that didn't help is they kind of got forced onto Winston compositions, I think, more than they wanted to be. Especially considering there was so much hype built around their strength at, Ryan Zarya and Goats. Because you've got Fraggy and Zappos, and they're really good at those two specifically working together. But the thing is, Fraggy is not an awful Winston, but I wouldn't put him anywhere near the top tier with Winston.
Up against Gushue, who is... runs terrain.
Yes.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, he's, like, so far ahead of the competition in the way that, like, Miro was back in the day. And they showed the stats comparing them.
Oh, God.
And he was, like, lapping Fraggy on several of them. And it's just, like, you have a guy on his strongest tank versus a guy on his weakest tank, and...
Of course it's not going to compare well.
Yeah, but... You have the fact they were forced onto these Winston compositions so much, kind of throwing off their tank lines, play and probably the plans that they had. And you've also got an incredibly flexible DPS line from China. Like, Leave was on everything over the course of the 2 days. And I knew, again, this is one of those things where, like Fusions, I knew that Leave was good. I'd seen him on Miraculous Youngster, which is also where we get Late Young and Sky. And they went up against Lunatic High, the team that would become Seoul Dynasty in their heyday, when they were the best team in the world, and they went like 4-2 with them. He can really turn up, but he just shows up, flexes onto anything, and seems to be better than almost anyone else at it.
Leaves everyone behind, if you will.
Yeah, after the China versus Canada game, there was a response. It's just like there was a response to it I saw on the subreddit where it's just like, man, Leave gets bored of the game, goes to PUBG for a year, and comes back just in time to fist all of your favorite streamers into oblivion. Like. Like, where's the lie?
Yeah.
Like, what a god.
And I have to wonder if PUBG doesn't sharpen some of those reflexes.
Yeah, like...
Just in terms of being hilariously, horrifyingly aggressive and having to come at things at different angles.
But also aim. Like...
Oh, yeah. And PUBG is a bit of a broken game sometimes. Like, in terms of well-oiled machine and glitching out, Fortnite is far smoother, but I feel like that makes getting good at PUBG a lot more savage.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you bring that back into Overwatch.
Yeah, and also mad props to Sky and Eviltal. They were like setting up plays it's often hard to really see the impact that a healer has unless you're looking for it. They were setting up plays. Eviltal was doing a great job getting everyone where they needed to be to let that really aggressive style that Gushui kind of spearheads really shine. Yeah. You had Sky hitting some pretty big sleeps and anti-nades. Just, they set the table. They kept everyone alive through the fights. Just perfect, solid support play the whole way through.
It's one of those things where if you've got good support, you don't notice it. If you've got bad support, you can't not notice it.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you've got excellent support, then you really do notice it. And that's the point where we all kind of turn and look at Neptuno like,
yeah,
dude, you're terrifying.
Neptuno, Jaehong, a bunch
of oh my god, yeah. Jaehong,
Jonak. Yeah, we'll talk
Jonak is a horror terror.
He is, although I feel like the reputation he has, and we'll talk about this more when we're getting to Team South Korea, I feel like he's given almost too much weight, and people focus too much on trying to counter him than the rest of the team necessarily.
You say that like the team doesn't lean into it.
Oh no,
everyone's scared of Jonak, and then they miss the Reinhardt behind them.
Oh yeah, no, and that's their thing. They protect Jonak like an Arabian prince. Make like the Jonak becomes the center of everything. Either he pops off or someone else pops off. It's very hard when you're fighting a lineup of people, all of whom can kill you.
Again, so much of this is mind games when you get to this level, knowing people's reputations. Again, being at BlizzCon, having everyone's eyes on you. And now that they have they've had these for a while, but the deals with Disney XD and ESPN 3? 4?
Yeah, I think it was...
Being on actual TV, even if it's the higher up cable channels. It's a lot of pressure.
It is. And China looked really good under that pressure, and that flexibility, that solid support line, and that insane tank play.
Oh, yeah. They just pulled Finland through apart. Finland.
And there were a bunch of times where Finland looked good in individual fights, but the outcome was never in too much doubt after that first map. And it makes me sad because I really wanted Finland to go deep on this.
Yeah, I wanted the USA to win, and I think like that first half of the day we were both just kind of like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone I called to win lost, except for South Korea. And I was having this moment of, come on, let's go 4 for 4. Let's go 4 for 4. Damn it.
It would be crazy just to see...
If Australia pulled that out, let's just have the upset of upsets.
We have entered Bizarro World.
Oh my god, I'd be down.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have made it past Team Canada.
No.
But... oh my god.
But hey, if in a universe where they could beat Korea, then they could probably beat Canada, but... Yep. Nope. Canada. Yeah. Speaking of Canada, Team France versus Team Canada. Which
I'm so sad I was really pulling for France.
I was too. Like, I love a lot of those players, and again, they're a roster of veterans for the most part who have been around the game for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that this really showed Canada. Obviously they were able to break out some different compositions, but the one that they always seem to come back to, their core strategy, was dive with Sombra Doom.
Yeah.
And occasionally they'd, bring out the...
I mean, Agility's Doomfist is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
We've seen that more than once on a Valiant comp.
Yeah, no, definitely. But in that, they had probably the most consistent answer to Goat's comp throughout the whole tournament. Mm-hmm. Sureforce Sombra, he was always coming up big with key hacks in the perfect position to land big EMPs, especially in this match against France. And, either the hack or the EMP or a big punch opened up the fights. And it really showcases why Sombra Doom is so powerful right now, because it's so much disruption, so much ability to just pretty much effectively remove a player from the fight, either via the hack or Doomfist just knocking them into the next area code.
I love that this is in the meta now. I'm
Yeah.
just remembering the earlier days of Overwatch League where it was nothing but dive versus dive, and I was going up the wall.
That was Apex Season 2 to, early Overwatch League.
Yeah,
Dive was just everywhere for so long.
I dislike dive comp only because I dislike watching dive comp ad nauseum. If everyone's playing dive, it just gets super boring. And so watching all of these different heroes come back into the meta, watching Ana come back in a big way, watching Sombra being more than just one occasional specific map pick, watching Doomfist come in when it used to be a throw pick. I mean, I would not be surprised to see some pretty solid pro-level Torb.
It's definitely a possibility, especially with the rework. But
Yeah.
I'm
We
with
also got some high-level Symmetra.
Yeah.
And I was losing my noise.
Finland, when they took map point A on Hanamura with the sim play, made me so happy.
Yep.
That was awesome.
And it just... characters that had been considered throw picks are coming back into the meta in a big way, and I am so excited for this because we get to see so much variety in our gameplay and so many plays that we weren't expecting. And I think this is a really big example of that with Sombra and with Doomfist. Yeah,
and they had, like I said, I think the most consistent answer to GOAT, because France is a team that they've been the people that have been in Contenders Europe on this team have been playing a lot of Ghost Comp, and they seem to have really prepared it very heavily. That seemed to be the bread and butter strategy that they had, because it's probably the most solid baseline strat in this meta.
Yeah.
It's the default thing, the way dive was in the past, though not as consistent, you have to pick this.
I feel like GOATS is a little more accessible for beginning and lower level players as well, whereas dive is like, hey, if you don't know how to play these heroes yet, good luck.
Yeah.
We're reporting you for throwing because you're not part of dive comp.
Yeah, but...
I don't play Genji.
Also, kudos to Canada for really having, the coordination to capitalize on it, too. Because in this map, the second someone got hacked or EMP'd or Doomfist punched out of position...
They were down.
Everyone was in on it in a second. And, I don't think France played badly for the most part. I think there were maybe some little mistakes that hurt them here and there, but they weren't sandbagging, they weren't throwing. And when it was goats versus goats, I think France kind of came out ahead more often than not. But they didn't have an answer for that Sombra Doom, and they weren't as practiced with it. So when they tried to pull it out on Temple of Anubis, they didn't get the same mileage out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, Sombra Doom, you're looking at Surefour and Agilities.
Yeah.
And Surefour, holy hell. Surefour is terrifying.
He looked amazing on the Sombra. His Widow looked good as ever when they pulled it out. He was just, in this game especially, he was just a solid anchor for the team to sort of build their strats around. Though I think maybe they leaned on him a little too heavily, and we'll talk about that when we get to Canada's next game.
I mean, they did, but that doesn't mean he didn't look good.
Oh, yeah.
He looked amazing.
This first game especially.
Yeah.
So, up next, Team Australia versus Team South Korea.
I mean, we've kind of already talked about this one. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah. And
we did our best.
They tried. They put up a really good fight.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, they're up against some of the most mechanically talented players in the world with one of the best coaches in Pavane. And they just looked polished to a mirror sheen. They were ready for everything.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I'm reminded of Discworld, honestly. There's a whole bit about how if the odds are massively against you, they literally only succeed if they are exactly 1,000 to 1. Otherwise, you're just against overwhelming odds and you're not going to win.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those scenarios where it would have needed to have been exactly 1,000 to 1 to get that perfect sports underdog story that we all love so much.
Yeah.
And this wasn't it.
No, it wasn't.
Like,
but...
the stars had to align for that, and they didn't. And that's life.
Yeah, but Team Australia made a great case for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully some of them end up getting picked up in Overwatch League or some of the more competitive contenders regions, because there is a lot of talent in the Australian region that I think could really become something with the right coaching and the higher level of competition that another region might bring.
And actual internet.
Yes, and
that's going into a marathon with a ball and chain around your ankle.
Yeah, and being able to play on something other than a 56K modem.
Yeah. That I saw a push from a lot of the desk talent actually saying, let them redo their tryouts. Let them try out while they're here on good internet. And you've seen what they can do when they have an actual connection.
Yeah. And I think that people should listen.
Yeah.
And Boston seemed to, give them that opportunity with picking up Color Hex. But hopefully others kind of follow suit.
Yeah, because it wasn't just a one-man team. It wasn't just Custa et al. It was the whole team, and they worked together incredibly well.
Everyone turned up. They all looked good, and they looked like maybe with that extra bit of coaching or that extra bit of high-level competition to really sort of, the iron to sharpen themselves with, they could compete on the Overwatch League stage.
Yeah. So, yeah, officially pushing for get more Australia people. Get more people from down under. They can do the thing. It's just that their internet sucks.
Australia get the Brazil Gaming House guys. Give them a shot. And I think the more you can sort of open people, the more that you can sort of open up contenders and sort of help funnel the high level talent to the more competitive regions in NA and EU and Korea. And obviously, I don't think Korea is really going to import much talent. But
well, no, they're exporting talent like crazy.
Yes.
They export talent like Idaho exports potatoes.
Yes. But I think it goes a long way to sort of build that pipeline for the path to pro.
Yeah. So here's a question. How do you think Australia would have done had they been seeded against anyone else?
I think they would have shown up a little more strongly. I think, we would have seen a map win for one. It's hard to say who I think they would beat, though.
Because everyone's so good.
And
normally I'd say UK, but UK went crazy here.
Yeah, they did. Like, UK would have been the other team that I would have given them a good chance to beat. But right now, I think it's, that difference between... It was just they were maybe one step behind.
And also, again, we go back to mind games. They knew they were going up against South Korea.
Yeah.
They knew that it was extremely long odds. And I think going into a game like that, there's a part of you that has already accepted defeat. You just kind of look at the inevitable and go, well, maybe we can avert it, but probably...
There's two ways of looking at it, which is, one... there is no pressure for me to succeed since literally no one expects it, and you can sort of find another gear because you're not putting that pressure on yourself. Or you accept defeat and you are assuring the fact that you're going to find it.
I do think it was no pressure because we're fucked, so let's just play. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to come out there, we're going to play our game.
And they did pretty dang well.
I think so.
So yeah, that's why I wonder about, if they'd been up against the UK, if they'd been up against Finland, if they'd been up against someone where it's like, we might have a fighting chance, y'all. Like, how would that have changed things? It's a fun hypothetical question, but
It is.
that's all it's ever going to be, a hypothetical question. Till next year.
Yeah. All right. So, on to the second day and all of those semifinals and bronze medal and all that. Mm-hmm. Team UK versus Team South Korea.
2 map draws. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one where I was like, all right, I gotta go out. I gotta run some errands. It's a foregone conclusion. And I'm checking Twitter while I'm waiting in line at the dollar store. And it's like, by the way, they're tied on their second map. And I went, what? I picked the wrong one to leave for.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no right one to leave for today. There really wasn't.
No,
but
there wasn't.
Holy cow, missing half of this and coming back to, yeah, so they tied on 2 maps. I'm like, what the? It's a 1-0-0 right now. What? What?
Yeah. And it's insane how close this got. Like, and it just, again, UK, everybody turned up. And while I think they were maybe a step behind on, I think what might have cost them is maybe just being a step behind Carpe and Fleta in a lot of the situations.
But who isn't?
Yeah, and that's not to knock Mike Ye or Kib because they looked good.
But they're up against Carpe and Fleta.
Yeah, that, and also I think Team South Korea did a better job sort of managing their ultimate economy.
Oh yeah.
Like there was one fight on Nepal, I think it was on the shrine, where Team UK committed ultimates, but Team South Korea held on to their support ultimates through 2 or 3 fights until they really needed it.
Remind me, were these the matches where twice we had a Transcendence keep people from getting absolutely fried during a grav? Mm-hmm. That was pretty good. It was one of those moments of, oh, it's a good thing you saved that ult because that is literally the only thing that kept your team from being bombed off the face of the earth.
Yes.
Very solid grabs, but a Transcendence preventing a follow-up is just those reversals.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And South Korea, again, showed that mirror polish that makes them so dangerous in this because you wouldn't, like, a lot of these teams, they look good, there's synergy, and they're able to work together. South Korea looked like they'd been playing together for years.
Yeah.
Like,
at this level of talent, it's the details.
It is, and I don't think any team quite had those small little things down to the same degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you have to watch one match from the World Cup, it would probably be this one. This one
Honestly, I would say Canada versus UK.
Yeah.
As if you can only watch one, that I think had the best gameplay without the foregone conclusion that maps against South Korea tend to have.
Yeah, and that one was fantastic. I only caught the end of it just because I was running around seeing other stuff.
You were actually at BlizzCon.
Yeah, I was seeing other stuff that day, but I caught the last 2 maps, and oh my god. To get us a step closer to that, Team China versus Team Canada. Honestly, the strength that Canada has sort of shown, that synergy around the openings that Surefour created, kind of dissipated.
But I'm also wondering if it's not because China was just, I hesitate to say random, but they kept pulling out strategies that no one was prepared for or doing things that no one saw coming. Your well-oiled machine only works so well when someone puts a spanner in the works.
Yeah, and well, the other thing is, Surefour just didn't really come up with those hacks or the big EMPs.
Yeah.
And you can throw a spanner in the works, but the thing is with Sombra, you have the permanent invisibility. You have the ability to get into the heart of the enemy team pretty consistently when you're someone as good at it as Surefour is. But he just wasn't able to come up big, and no one on the team was able to step up to the degree that they replaced that missing firepower.
Yeah.
And without Surefour to set things up, they went from hitting big combinations all over the place against France to landing almost none of them against China.
So in 2 back-to-back matches, essentially, we saw the upsides of that particular comp and the downsides.
Yeah.
The goofus and the gallant of it all.
Yeah. And I think maybe Canada kind of leaned into it a little too much when it wasn't quite working for them.
It worked really well yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. This is China.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, I think it's a good idea, and I would need to watch it more closely to give you a concrete answer as to why it didn't work, other than just maybe Surefour having a bad game or two, you know?
And there was so much Overwatch over these past
Yeah.
2 days that it just can't expect you to remember everything.
Yeah.
And it was nuts.
I will say, though, Leave and Gushue, they found yet another gear in this game.
How is Goosh? I will
They
be
hit Super
very...
Saiyan 2 in the middle of this one. Like,
I will be gobsmacked if Leave and Gushue do not wind up signed to an Overwatch team. Probably one of the now 4 Chinese teams that we have.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I will be very, very surprised if we don't see them wearing a League jersey in February.
Gushue just turned 18. I think Leave is 17, but...
Oh, can't sign Leave then.
Well, no, you can.
Provisionally, they just can't play until they're 18.
Yeah, and I think his birthday... You know what? Let's check.
I will do it because I don't have keyboard.
I'm already there.
And thus we hit radio silence.
Oh, they don't have his
It
birthday.
doesn't say.
No!
You know what? I'll keep digging. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to play at some point during the league.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but again, Leave and Gushue just applied so much pressure between them that they were able to really sort of steamroll through Canada with the layups given to them by Sky and Abletal. And again, Canada didn't look bad. It's just their game plan didn't come together. And I think that they just maybe didn't have the backups prepared to the degree that they needed to.
And that if you've got nothing to work with and nothing to switch to, then you're just toast. You're waiting
Oh,
for the
I
inevitable.
don't think that they had nothing to work with or nothing to switch to. I think that this was kind of where they devoted most of their energy. And since it won them pretty much everything in the group stages, except for their match against Team USA, no one really had an answer to it. And even Team USA had some difficulty playing up against that Sombra Doomfist.
Yeah.
And the other thing to sort of keep in mind, Jane's a very good coach, and I think that he definitely prepared them for some alternatives. But if you're going into a tank battle with China, especially with the form that Gushue is in right now, winning that is going to be very hard.
I cannot find Leave's birthday anywhere. So I think that's just gonna be a thing.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. I remember somewhere he's in the range, I think.
Probably. But yeah, for most of the people who are of age, I would be very surprised if we don't see most of these World Cup players who aren't already in League get picked up for League, especially after the showings we've had here.
I think Sky had said he was going to take a little bit of a break from Overwatch. He kind of blamed himself for the ultimate loss, which I don't think is fair.
No.
Not at all.
No. The level of play here, for the most part, with the exception of our few foregone conclusions, it was anyone's game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And speaking of anyone's game, Canada versus UK. I didn't get to see too much of this one, but I was blown away by what I did see.
Yeah, this one was also completely wild. Like, again, there was so much Overwatch going on that day. I don't remember a lot of the details, but I remember doing a lot of yelling and probably scaring my neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this one went the distance. Again, I feel bad that I can't talk about this one too much because I went back to try and watch stuff, but there's only so much, stuff that I can watch in preparation for this.
Yeah. And again, there was so much Overwatch in just packed in these 2 days alongside literally everything else that it's hard to remember everything. But good Lord, this match.
So very vaguely, we're saying this is the one that you should check out.
This is 110%. Like, again, most of the details we've come up with is because you had these wonderful, incredible notes. But this, I think, had better gameplay than the gold medal match. Because for one, pressure's off. They actually talk to a lot of Olympic medalists where, gold medalists are super happy, silver medalists are always disappointed, and bronze medalists are super happy because, hey, we got to be there. We're on the podium.
Yeah.
So this is pressure's off for the gold medal match. Now it's, all right, we want to be there. We're on the podium, and neither of us are facing South Korea. Let's go.
Yeah, and the other thing is you've got teams that are I think, very evenly matched in terms of, the firepower each player brings at each position. So you've got two teams, both of whom are just ready to show up with players that can do that in any, capacity. And you've got an interesting stylistic matchup of Canada, who can play GOATs pretty solidly against a team that does it better than anyone, but also Canada's got this anti-GOAT strat in their back pocket. So the story of this match is really who's going to win the GOATs battles, and if Canada can't, keep up with that, how is UK going to adapt to the, the... I'm trying to think of what to call a GOATs Destroyer comp other than the Butcher Shop, but that makes no sense. Like,
wow. I mean, you're not wrong, but the Chupacabra.
Okay, that's what we're calling it.
That's what we're calling it. We have coined that.
I don't care if anyone, Sombra Doom Anti-Goats is the Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra!
I was going to say Goats Busters.
Oh, Goats Busters too.
Oh, that is some contention. I kind of like Chupacabra. And also because Sombra's Mexican.
Yeah. Though there is a part of me, like, I feel like Goats Buster is probably going to be the
easier to say.
Well, Zen Goats for Goat Buster. Because it's both goat and bust goats.
Yeah. Regardless.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Anyway,
just
watch
good
this.
Lord.
Watch this
the
one.
Chupacabra.
Watch this one to see a lot of very interesting and exciting play and counterplay.
Well, and so many of these matches went 3-0.
Yeah.
There are so few exceptions.
This one,
watching this go all the way to Game 5 and have it be a full-on nail-biter all the way.
Game 5, lads.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I will say that it had better play than the gold medal match.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And
it was more fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, and let's take this to pivot into the gold medal match.
Let's actually take a moment before we do that.
Yeah.
Because we have a word from our sponsors.
Yes, we do.
We really should have put in when we stopped talking about Friday and switched to Saturday, but we were so excited.
I paused to try and give you an in to do that because I thought that's what you were going to do.
You can always intro it and I'll pull it up.
Fair enough. I just miscommunication.
No, this podcast is a work in progress. We pulled a dragons there and we're going to get better. We're learning to communicate. Yeah. Anyway, as always, this podcast is sponsored by Fred's BS, Breads and Spreads by Fred. Fred's BS is an LA local one-man baked goods business that offers unique flavors in small batches. Whether you're looking for homemade jams, brownies, blondies, or brown sugar buddies, the best cookies you've ever had, Fred's can provide. Yeah, you can vouch for that.
Well, yeah, between the recording of the last one and this one, we had like two dozen of them here, and we're running low.
I'm amazed that you still have any, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we were at BlizzCon.
I'm amazed you didn't take them to BlizzCon. Anyway, all products are made in small batches with fresh ingredients, nothing's ever frozen, and Fred provides a plethora of flavors that can't be found in stores, like the aforementioned brown sugar buddies or his strawberry peach paradise sunrise jam, which I have taken to putting on the brown sugar buddies and then putting a brownie on top of them and making a sandwich. And it's insane. Oh my God.
I'm not sure my heart can take that.
I managed about half a cookie's worth, and then I had to save the rest for later because it was very rich, but very, very good. And also, if you're LA local, you can choose pickup instead of delivery and get your goods even sooner. Head to fredsbs.com and use coupon code ONTHEPOINT for 20% off your entire order. That's fredsbs.com and coupon code ONTHEPOINT. Fred's BS. Treat yourself, because you deserve it.
Mm-hmm. And seriously, those cookies are so goddamn good.
They are unfair. I actually have a friend who had Fred cater her sister's wedding.
Yeah, you were telling me
the dessert
about this.
table.
Yeah.
and they made s'mores with those cookies.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
You guys can't see the look on my face right now.
Brown sugar buddies are what snickerdoodles want to be when they grow up. They
They're
are unbelievably good.
They're snickerdoodles that have been hitting the gym. Like, they're... oh, my God. Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway. Team China
They are the Team South Korea of cookies.
Yeah. Is everything working in harmony?
Yes. Unbelievably good.
So...
And a safe pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Team South Korea versus Team China. Again, I don't think anyone was too shocked by the outcome, but given how many moments of what the fuck we kind of got throughout the World Cup, it didn't seem impossible that China could win.
We were hoping for one final table flip here.
Yeah.
We really were.
But ended up being a 4-0 in favor of South Korea. However...
Out of 7, because this is the only one that went to 7.
However, I think it was a better showing from China than the 4-0 scoreline would kind of lead you to believe.
Yeah. I mean, that's been the case with all of these. We had a whole lot of 3-0s, but that doesn't tell you just how hard fought those matches were.
Yes. The thing that I want to point to especially is Watch Point Gibraltar between these two teams, because they both elected to use double sniper. And on Team South Korea, you have Carpe and Fleta. Mm-hmm. That is a DPS line that is...
terrifying.
Borderline unfair. Mm-hmm. And Team China was able to, go toe-to-toe with them on that double sniper composition and come out ahead quite often, especially on the second and third point. They kind of shut down Carpe and Fleta. And even though they ultimately ended up losing, the fact that you can pull that off at all says a lot about your quality as a player.
Well, and Gibraltar as a map is also sniper paradise for about 80% of it.
It is.
The only time when it's not is that one little tunnel that goes into that dip, like right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Every other time it's put a sniper on the high ground and you are good to go. Mm-hmm.
And even there, most people don't hold... They'll let you get through the tunnel, but they hold blue box, and then they have the other sniper set up on that sort of wraparound high ground right by point A. So they just let you get out of there to get into that kill box.
Oddly enough, Gibraltar is one of the few payload maps that I really, really like.
Yeah, it's a
Most
good map.
of them I'm just kind of like, we're on Route 66 again. Why? Or Junkertown.
Junkertown's just straight up cheese.
As much as I personally hate playing on Junkertown, especially as a support main, I like watching people play on Junkertown because the meta goes out the window.
Yeah, because some dumb shit happens.
Oh, yeah. That is Pirate Ship the map.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And it's less the case now. You can see teams take that out of vogue over the course of Overwatch League and Contenders. But every now and then, someone hoists the Jolly Roger high.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun to watch. And just everyone keeps trying all sorts of crazy stuff just to get past that first point.
Yeah.
Because that big open space is hell.
Yeah. And it's very, very true. But ultimately what this proves is that the Chinese players really have the mechanical skill to compete with the Koreans. It's not that the Koreans are just better than everyone else. The thing is, they're more practiced, they're more polished, and their ability to work together to supplement what the other is doing and adapt to the strategies that other teams bring out is why South Korea, won this in such dominant fashion. They were just able to adapt to whatever China was pulling out of their back pocket. That and their exceptional individual play, which, sort of highlighting both, I want to talk about Fury for a second. Because Fury gets a lot of love, but I don't think, the average person watching the games would necessarily notice how hard he's been working. But when you go back and watch Fury, the amount of times that he eats like a dragon or a grav, or that the second there's pressure on his healers, suddenly he just materializes, just appears out of the fucking Bifrost.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Yeah. No, he was all over it. And honestly, I think he did more to get this team the win than Jonak did. And that's not to knock Jonak, just Fury was just playing out of his mind.
I mean, I think they all kind of were.
Oh, well,
Let's be real.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. There was not a performance in this final on an individual level that I would say was bad. Like, I think everyone really did their job and did it as well as they could. It's just the flexibility of Korea and the ability to, switch between compositions without sort of, getting caught in that transitional, phase that a lot of teams can kind of struggle with.
Yeah.
They just were able to just pull whatever strategy out and make it work to the highest level of efficiency possible.
Yeah, like I said, I'll be surprised if all of the people on these teams do not wind up signed to Overwatch League before we start up in February.
Korea, they already are. But...
I mean, yeah. But like everyone else.
Yeah,
Australia are outliers on Great Britain. Like,
yeah. Although I think Mikey A is on We Have Org in Contenders EU now.
okay.
So not everyone's getting picked up, but I think they've all made a really good case for themselves. And everyone who showed up here at the World Cup, they're people to watch for the future.
Oh, yeah.
We have a bunch of stars to watch in the next season of Overwatch League. In Gushui and Leave, provided they get signed, which, the rumors indicate
Why would
as
you
much.
not?
Yeah, the rumors
Why
indicate
would
as
you
much.
not?
I agree. I think, a lot of the Finnish players will have... They'll be going back to their respective Overwatch League teams and hopefully reinvigorated by we came this far and then kind of fell apart. I'm not letting that happen again.
Mangachu, I'm sure, will get picked up somewhere.
Mangachu really should.
He's shown.
In Season 1, I didn't think that he was quite at the place to be in that Overwatch League stage, especially because at that point he was kind of a Pharah one-trick. But he can break out the Genji, he can break out the Doomfist, he can break out the Torb if he's feeling
break out
ballsy.
Wrecking Ball.
Yeah. He has gotten some really solid flex picks that he can break out and get and perform to a high level with them.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that we haven't talked about here, or at least that I didn't just mention in that little spiel, that you'd be very excited to see in Overwatch League that, hasn't already been rumored or signed to a team out of this whole bunch?
Honestly, I think we hit on all of them.
Yeah.
And again, I'm throwing in behind Team Australia.
Yeah. Trill, Punk. Just trying to scroll back.
All of them.
Yeah.
Just all of them. As a whole.
Yeah, everyone looks good, and
like I said, it wasn't just Custa et al. It was Team Australia.
Yeah.
And they were good.
And so I think now we should kind of take the time to swing into Overwatch League, because we have the branding for our new Paris team, the Paris Eternal.
Why can't anyone come up with a good name anymore?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think part of it is...
I like the Toronto Defiant, but Paris Eternal, I don't know. It sounds too much like a comic book storyline.
Toronto Defiant got so many points in my book because their social media manager, whoever they are, is on point. Mm-hmm. Because I think it was the Dallas Fuel a little while ago that did a tweet about how all the different teams that have red as their main color, like these 4 teams showing up to the party, like, and then it's a gif of all the Red Rangers. God bless. Yeah, it's a gif of all the Red Rangers.
Yeah.
And God bless Toronto Defiant. They responded with a Beautiful Joe gif. And I just lost it. Like, anyone who can pull out Henshin a Go-Go, you win. I'm in. All right. I will throw in behind Toronto.
Although Dallas had a very good one when I think it was Houston tried to... I'll have to look up this exchange, and we'll try and link it somewhere.
I mean, Houston and Dallas going at it is hysterical anyway.
Although I laughed my ass off when Houston posted about how Dallas, it was a screen grab of Family Feud, Steve Harvey, like, things Dallas Fuel runs, show me Texas!
It's just nothing, yeah.
Although Jane, who coached for Team Canada, now one of the coaches for Dallas Fuel, like, maybe you should stop focusing on running Texas and learn how to run an academy team.
That was right. I did see that. That was, ooh,
That
guys.
Jane, they have families. Like,
It's like 911. I think I've just witnessed a murder.
although, frankly, the academy team thing, that ain't the Outlaws' fault directly. That's that. Do we want to talk about that a little bit now, or I didn't put it in the notes because
I don't know. Again, we try to shy away from rumors here, and I don't know if we can peg down how much of this is confirmed.
There was some reporting on this, and then some of the players involved were kind of like,
yeah.
The long story short is the guy who was running GGEA, which is Houston's academy team, under the banner of their parent company, Infinite. Alicus was being kind of awful to people and players.
Which is not a good thing to do when you're in a managerial position,
No.
or at all in life, really.
They tried to run multiple academy teams, which is not allowed.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. They couldn't put together we'll go into it more at another point, I think.
When we have more of the story, when we can actually sit down and discuss it in depth. But corporate decisions were made and things imploded.
Not corporate decisions, specifically one guy. But
one guy made bad decisions and things imploded.
hopefully we'll get a little more detail about it in the coming weeks, but otherwise we'll try and talk about it next time, I think, maybe.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about is that rattling up the pipeline, and very personally, it's because my brother is on one of the esports teams for the company.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Which,
Not Overwatch.
Which game?
It's just a general team. It's not a full on.
Oh, okay.
He's a streamer. He's not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But he's still connected. There is a
Yeah.
contract. So it's like, please don't cause problems for everyone.
Well,
I have a personal
I don't think
stake
the
in
Alicus thing is, but they cut ties with one of their investors for like some domestic abuse shit.
That is outside the scope of this podcast.
Yeah.
I have taken us on a turn and now I don't want to follow it.
Yeah.
Regardless.
It's not the best situation right now, but you know what's a good situation?
Let's hear it.
Overwatch League, at the unveiling event for the Paris Eternal branding, Nate Nanzer, the commissioner for the Overwatch League, has said that they have heard the complaints of EU viewers about the games being hard to watch for people in the European time zones. Not only will the Overwatch League now be playing some games on Sunday as well, but the games on Saturday and Sunday will start earlier to make it easier for EU fans to watch.
So what I'm wondering is, are we still looking at 3 matches a day? Are we still looking at a solid 6 hours of gameplay? And is this to accommodate the 8 brand new teams that we have? Or is this going to be, all right, we're doing 2 matches a day. We're doing 4 hours of gameplay.
Well, I think
I'll be intrigued to see.
I think adding Sunday is definitely a move to accommodate the larger team pool, because we went from 12 to 20 now.
Yeah. And then also I'm still hoping that teams will get bye weeks so that they're able to sleep.
Yeah, they're
That was a problem last season.
It was. It was also a problem that a lot of teams would have to play games on back-to-back days.
Which is ugly.
Yeah, and so now they're only going to be playing 7 games a stage, which is good.
Yeah.
Gives players a chance to have a
Breathe.
little bit of a break, and there will only be, at worst, 2 weeks where they'll have to play 2, because they're keeping the 5 week stage.
Yeah. And that helps a lot, because you really do want bye weeks. And for those unfamiliar with the term, a bye week is when a team isn't playing.
Yeah.
So you'll hear that a lot. I hear it a lot in football, honestly, as well.
Yeah.
I've picked up the term. It's like, so-and-so, the Broncos have a bye week, they're not playing. Which helps, because sometimes you just want that time to breathe and chill and just take some time for yourself. And hopefully this means that we will have fewer players needing to take sick leave for mental health issues.
Yeah. And I really hope that's the case. I think that this move is just good overall.
Oh, yeah.
You get more content for the league, gives your players a little bit more of a break. And it's easier for a large chunk of fans who have been complaining about difficulty in getting to watch these games. Like, they want to see it. It's just hard for them to get up and get there just because of the timing.
Yeah. It was like us watching the Paris and Bangkok qualifiers. Like, oh, they start at 1 a.m.? No.
Or the Incheon qualifier.
Yeah. Like, again, it starts at 1 a.m. Pacific? I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. And, your first season is always kind of your beta test.
It is. It is, and I think that they are making the right moves to sort of make this a better experience for everyone in Season 2.
Yes.
So... water.
One of those days. But yeah, we've got a bit of a shorter list today because, for the most part, everything has been World Cup and BlizzCon-centric.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about one other thing that happened at BlizzCon.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, one of the pickups from the World Cup has happened already. Boston Uprising has acquired Fusions.
Look at how surprised I am.
Which I think is a really, really good pickup, not just because he's an awesome main tank, but specifically he's an awesome Reinhardt. And Gamsu seemed to have some difficulty playing Reinhardt. Wasn't at the same level as his phenomenal Winston play is.
This is going to be hysterical the first time Boston faces Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I can't wait. That's the only thing that disappoints me here is that Philadelphia didn't pick him up because names. They may not need his talent, his skill set where they are now, but just names.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And that's very, very shallow of me, and I don't care.
So, yeah, I think it's a great pickup that supplements what this team needs, and also, as Team UK's performance has proved, Fusions is a very good in-game leader.
Oh, yeah.
And give him the ability and time to really adapt to his new Korean teammates and get used to working with them. I think this is a very good pickup for Boston. That goes a long way to shoring them up for Season 2.
Yeah.
The other announcement that we have in terms of a roster pickup is the rumor that we reported on a couple weeks ago. NYXL bringing up Nene from XL2 Academy has happened. Nene is now on the NYXL. He is under Flex, so we might see him break out his phenomenal DPS. We might see him stick to the off-tank role a little more and supplement Meko, hopefully bringing out like a Zarya to balance Meko's awesome diva play. Mm-hmm. And I'm very excited to see him there.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that so many times on this podcast. Take a shot every time.
Yeah,
don't.
We now have a drinking game.
We're not Drunk Disney. Don't do that. Plus, Drunk Disney shots are like half an ounce because they take 11 of them in the span of 90 minutes.
Yes.
Don't die.
However, speaking of taking a shot, Defran has already exited the Overwatch League.
He has left the building.
I'm going to refresh the Reddit right now.
Oh, good lord.
Because as of the time of this recording, there has been no official... What? What? Are you...
I'm going to read this. It's from Defran's Twitter as of, oh my god, 15 minutes ago. Still in Atlanta rain, didn't quit like I said. I messed up, I don't know what to say except sorry to the community, my fans, and Atlanta. It wasn't Chupate. Sometimes I have these days and make dumb mistakes. Going forward, I'm going to stream less and focus on making myself and my team better. I had hope. I had so much hope.
So...
He quit earlier today.
Not earlier today, yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah. Yep.
And up until this point...
until literally 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
as of this recording.
Yeah, Atlanta had made no comment, and we were speculating as to whether they were caught by surprise, whether they were trying to talk things out, or whether it was debate, as some people on Reddit claimed. But it looks like Defran will be remaining in the Atlanta rain, which I will say this doesn't exactly fill me with much confidence.
No. You all right back there?
Yep.
She said suspension.
Our third host. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My girlfriend, the Greek choir.
Jesus. Oh my God. This is the first time you're getting a live reaction to something on this podcast. Welcome to that particular madhouse. I feel so bad for Atlanta. I do. But I I wouldn't be surprised to see him go the same way as XQC, but I thought he was going to be going that way a lot quicker.
Yeah, and the fact that obviously if the dude has some legitimate issues, which has seemed to be the case sometimes in the past, like I can't say that I follow him closely enough to know any particular details.
But again,
erratic behavior has always been kind of a thing.
Coach Seffi has insisted that Dufran got the help that he needed and that he is doing better. And I don't want to say like, oh, well, this shows that that's not the case because, again, one bad day.
Yeah,
I'm not going to judge someone off of one tweet that they made when they were having a really bad moment. Everyone does that. It's a thing. It's social media. I'm still not happy with the fact that he is on this team to begin with and the issues that this causes for Atlanta natives and people who call Atlanta their hometown, even if they're not living there anymore, who want a team and now have this to contend with. Like, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater here and be like, he hasn't changed. Look, he did an evil tweet or what the hell ever. But I am going to say that this doesn't bode well. Yeah,
and obviously, you know, dealing with whatever issues there are or, you know, whether it is, you know, mental health issues or whether it's just him...
A lack of self-control on social media.
A lack of self-control or just, you know, burnout, because a lot of people deal with that. I have no idea, and I'm not going to speculate on what it is, but dealing with any of those things can be an uphill battle. And some days you're going to have a bad day, and some days you're going to kind of want out of it, but at the same time... The fact that this is happening means that Atlanta's going to have a hard time relying on him.
Yeah.
And if he can straighten out these behavioral issues and, you know, be a member of this team 100%, it helps them a lot, but it just...
That's such a big if.
It's such a big if, and it goes a long way to sort of confirming the fears that we had about this going in.
This just doesn't bode well. And I feel like the fact that our reaction was, oh, Dufran's quitting Atlanta, hell, they might have a chance now in social spheres. Like, that's kind of a telling reaction. And it's just, it's difficult. Atlanta has put themselves in a difficult situation by signing him, and we're seeing that with this situation, with this, I'm quitting the game. No, actually, I'm not quitting Atlanta. I had a rough day. Like, again, on one hand, you can't judge someone for one rough day. On the other hand, there is this consistent pattern of behavior, and he does have a reputation, and that is a difficult thing to bring into a brand new team. It would be difficult if he'd been signed to Boston or Philadelphia or a team that already has a fan base and a reputation behind them. Bringing him in on this brand new team and hitting the ground running with someone who has that reputation, gonna be difficult for Atlanta. Gonna be real tough for Atlanta. And I feel bad for their PR person and for their social media advisor because you know what their social media. Thank you, that person. Because they're going to have a lot to deal with. And I feel like they're going to be doing a lot of bomb defusal.
Yeah, and I feel like...
that's just tough.
I feel like that's kind of probably why we were going to be commenting on the fact that Atlanta Reign's PR hadn't made any sort of statement regarding Dufran prior to what we've just seen. And that... And
then lo and behold, it turns out that, him quitting is not the case. So... I feel like there were several very long conversations that happened between yesterday and today.
Yeah, there were probably a lot of phone calls being made. A lot of phone calls, a lot of Discord chats.
It's a difficult situation to be in.
It is, and again, we'll see how this shakes out, because if Dufran has the potential to either be a hard carry or an albatross around this team's neck. And
I feel like we look at the XQC example and go, well, the phrase is second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and a little bit worse.
It really could be, because
it could.
XQC was at least there.
I mean, when that's the most that you can say about them, I was present. Like, Again, we all know my feelings about XQC and sadly Team Canada by extension, and you'd think that I could throw in for a team that had Surefour, Agilities, and Bonnie on it, but I had my issues that weekend, and I can't throw in for Atlanta.
It's,
I can't.
Atlanta I want to support because I love Massa. Kodak is awesome. There's a lot of people that I do like and that I've enjoyed watching on the contender scene and come up, but it's just like, I talked about this in the past. Dufran is a frustrating figure for me personally with the community, because he does literally all of the things that people complain and rage about when they encounter it in their own games.
But it's okay if he does it because Dufran.
Because he's that good. And he is that good, and I'm not gonna lie and say that part of me doesn't want to see how he's gonna operate. But at the same time, it's just like, it feels like a double standard, and to me, I just don't have as much interest in... I won't say that I, can't throw in behind Atlanta at all, but at the same time, I am less interested in this team for his inclusion.
Yeah,
and I know
the phrase, to borrow from John Oliver, the phrase isn't one bad apple makes everything else mildly unpalatable, it's one bad apple spoils the bunch. And I worry that Dufran is going to be that bad apple and Atlanta is going to have problems for it, in much the same way that we saw Fuel limping along while they still had XQC, and how things got better once they restructured the team.
Well, with the XQC thing in Fuel especially, they had a lot more internal issues than just XQC.
This is also true.
I don't know that having Dufran's erratic behavior will torpedo a team's performance as much as having one main tank who's struggling, another being suspended, having coaching issues, having team, internal issues regarding morale. There was a complex networking of interrelated bullshit that made life difficult for the Dallas Fuel.
I need that on a shirt. Yeah. Complex networking of interrelated bullshit.
Yeah.
We're going to have a shirt shop. I'm going to put that on there. Yeah. It's going to be great.
That made Dallas's... It was a lot of things that made Dallas's life hard. I feel like this team, while Dufran might be sort of the star carry player, if he ends up, leaving or being suspended or whatever the case is, I don't think that it will dismantle the team in the same way of having all of these other issues and the behavioral stuff.
Yeah. But the flip side of it is the team cannot just be Dufran et al.
Yeah.
And you see problems with that for teams where it is this person and company.
Yeah.
And the best teams have, like, a lot of our really great teams here have standout players, but Gladiators isn't Surefour and the Lions, it's the Gladiators.
Yeah. Surefour is there, you have Hydration.
Big Goose.
Yeah, Big Goose, Shaz, all of whom...
Bishu.
Yeah, Bishu.
I'm wearing my Bishu Bomb shirt right now. I love it. It's very comfortable.
Yeah, everyone on that team can perform, and I think the same is true for Atlanta. The problem is, if you build strategies around Dufran's ability and hero pool and make him an integral part of the team...
And then he tanks.
It presents some issues. Not insurmountable ones. Not ones that necessarily are going to be as completely disruptive as the things that Dallas dealt with, but it doesn't help. And again, I would like to be wrong. I would like for, Dufran to have whatever he's dealing with straightened out, be there for his team, and just be one of the best players in the world, and, hopefully help Atlanta really show up in this second season.
That is
there's
best
just
case scenario.
Yeah, and that's the best case scenario. Like, I want everyone here to be happy, goddammit. But there's a lot of question marks about this.
Yeah.
And only time will tell. But this makes it seem a lot shakier that that's going to be our reality.
Yeah. And again, a lot of my approach for Overwatch League and for the teams, because again, I'm the casual, my approach to this is community. What is their community like? How do they stand together? What do they look like? What are their fans like? How do people act? And so a big part of why I like the teams I like, and part of the reason that I threw in so hard for Valiant, even over Gladiators, was that the community was fantastic. Yeah. I walked into the Valiant Discord server, was immediately at home. Everyone was immediately friendly. There was a lot of fun conversation, meeting people for the first time at games, and hey, we're friends for life now. Like, Valiant feels like home, and that is part of the reason that I can sit here and say I love these half dozen teams, but this is my team.
Yeah.
Walking into Atlanta, building Atlanta's community off of DeFran's community worries me a lot. I worry that that is an automatic wall for people who know DeFran's reputation but wanted a home team. Like, I feel like people will look at that and go, is DeFran's community going to be a big part of Atlanta's community? Because I was there for Throw for DeFran. I was there for this. I was there for that. I don't want to be part of it. And I worry that Atlanta has hobbled its community and its potential growth by hitching its wagon to DeFran's star.
And maybe that'll be the case. Maybe it won't be. Only time will tell, and we've gone over this before.
Take a shot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. On a slightly less problematic and maudlin note,
now that we've spent our obligatory 30 minutes talking about DeFran,
we did have we had one other big announcement coming out of BlizzCon, which is we have a new hero, Hero 29, in the form of Ashe.
And Bob.
So if you didn't see the McCree cinematic,
pause
go watch
this
it
right now. Go watch it. Go watch the minute-long stinger that they had that was shown at one of the panels.
About the backstory.
Well, no, not that, but there's the animatic about the backstory. There's the gameplay video for Ashe. There's the cinematic itself. And then there's another extra minute to the cinematic that is not included in the video that you have to go dig up because it was shown at a different panel. But it's basically the after credits scene for the video, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You got to... Yeah, no, I didn't realize that McCree stole her bike until they made that very... very obvious.
Yeah, well,
I loved it so much.
Well, they showed that at when they were showing it at the Overwatch Arena.
Yeah, but it is a separate video that you have to go hunt down.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't aware at the time that I was filming the reaction for my channel, because now half my comments are, why are you calling it Dorado? It's Route 66. And I'm like, because I lumped together all the maps I don't like in my head. That's why. Because I have trouble with payload maps. And
Hanamura and Junkertown are totally the same.
Hanamura's not a payload map.
Yeah, I know. You said
Give me some
You said
credit.
you lumped together all the maps you don't like.
I said all the payload maps I don't like. It's mostly
we'll play
just
back
because
the audio on
it's
that.
mostly just because my brain goes to Dorado because it's easier to think of and easier to say, and both maps are vaguely southern, and so that's very much an on me. I definitely spent that entire reaction calling it Dorado instead of Route 66 and only realized that afterwards because it's not like Friday was a long day or anything.
Yeah.
It was. But half my comments are, did you watch that other video? And I'm like, well, now I have. And it was hilarious.
I know.
God bless.
The bike,
Bob, do something.
The bike, the picture.
Yeah, that's my bike. Like, I love you. And I guess they talked a good amount about how Ashe is usually a lot more cool and collected than that. But
Yes, they did.
everyone's got that one person who can just key smash all of your buttons. And for her, it's McCree.
Everyone has that one walking psychological trigger in their life.
That one, and then there's that asshole.
Yeah.
And
then
hers,
there's this piece of shit.
Like, I feel like that's McCree for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But especially demonstrably for her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. And
love it.
that panel was a lot of fun to be at. I was over there.
The voice actor panel?
Yes.
I've only seen a small part of it because, I was at Guildhall watching most of Overwatch go down. But, God, the bits with D. Bradley Baker, and I don't remember who does the voice of Mech. Thank you. Doubling down for voice lines.
Yeah.
Watching D. Bradley Baker do his thing in real life is bonkers.
Yeah, no.
That man.
Oh, yeah, no, I was in the room for that shit, and I still can't believe I saw it happen. Like, it was just... Those sounds shouldn't come out of a human being, and how did you... What?
Because it's D. Bradley Baker. In much the same way that you look at Darren DePaul and go, you're Reinhardt? And then he does this massive booming voice, and you're like, oh yeah, that's Reinhardt.
Oh yeah, no, at Stay a While and Listen, a panel they do for basically people telling their story about like how they got to where they are and all that. He was talking about like they were doing orc voices in like a class run by Andrea
Romano?
No. The voice director for Blizzard, the casting director for Blizzard, whose last name I'm forgetting right now.
See, I hear voice director, and I immediately
you
default
think
to
of Andrea
the
Romano,
legend.
Yeah. But no, it was not. It wasn't her. Another Andrea. But he was talking about like we're gonna do orc voices, and then he breaks out this big booming, and she's just like, "Who are you? You look like an accountant." Like,
You will never see Darren DePaul not in a suit.
Darren DePaul looks like a Keebler elf who works at a bank.
He does.
And I love him.
He's a wonderful
He's one of the nicest people, and every time I run into him, it makes my day significantly better.
He's unassuming.
Yes.
He has that very just unassuming look.
Yeah.
And then you hear these voices come out of him, and you just kind of go, what? What?
How?
Do that again.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem physically possible. Please do that again.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, God bless them for making Matt Mercer read the Bona Sera Senora line.
Oh my God, watching him read that live, he's just like, oh, you put this
Why
in
did you
here,
do this to me?
bastards." Yeah.
Like, because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it.
Yeah. So yeah.
All we needed
track.
was that you two are adorable.
Oh God, yeah.
My
But
Irish murder queen.
back on track, Ashe, new DPS hero. She has sort of a lever action rifle. Plays similarly to Widowmaker in a lot of respects, but quick scope. Her kit involves a shotgun that is kind of a combination of Lucio's boop and Pharos' concussion rocket, in that if you fire it at someone else, you kick them back. You fire it at the ground, it can propel you, and you can sort of use that for a jump.
I love that we get that extra motion move for her.
Mm-hmm. She has dynamite that she can throw out. You can either let it go off on its own, or you can detonate it by shooting it.
Which is evidently very difficult from what I've heard.
It is.
It's a skill
I've
shot.
been watching Effects stream, and he can do it most of the time, but that's Effect.
That's Effect. Yeah, watching Custa go was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see Kareev get his hands on her. Because now that sounds super bad, I know. But the way that Kareev plays, he is a terrifying flex player. And most people are only familiar with his Zenyatta, but if you watch him go Widowmaker, he is scary.
Go back and watch Mighty AOD versus Rogue in Apex Season 3, and you'll see Kareev on Watchpoint Gibraltar take the heads off of Unko, Soon, and AKM in rapid succession.
But I mean, we also got to see some of that for the... I keep calling it contenders, and that is not correct. For All-Stars, we got to see Kareev do a lot of flexing, and it's insane.
Also in Stage 2, he did a lot of DPS for you boys. Yeah.
And if you ever, the memes that I know from him are from Custa's stream, because Custa likes pulling together his... sponsors is not the correct word. His subscribers, the people who subscribe to his stream and, pony up for the nice emotes and whatnot, to do Mystery Heroes death battle games. And occasionally Kareev will come in, and just the meme that I know is him going into the mic, "Come here and let me kill you." Evidently Kareev is full-on terrifying when he gets into these games, and he just comes up out of nowhere and wrecks people on mystery heroes.
Yeah, no, Kareev...
He's a terrifying human being.
A lot like OG, he just seems to be good at everything, and is also a fucking weirdo in the best way.
I cannot wait to see, specifically, Kareev play Ashe.
Yeah.
But I also can't wait to see how she affects the meta.
Effect did like a 9-hour stream just playing Ashe, by the way. It was great.
Good times and great oldie. Like, our most recent one before this was Wrecking Ball, and he's fun, but he wasn't a huge meta shift. I'm just remembering bringing in Brigitte and breaking Dive.
Yeah.
And I love that happened, and I love that we have a character who was specifically like, oh yeah, no, she's here to break Dive comp. Again, with all of my screeds about how boring it is to watch Dive versus Dive ad nauseum, the introduction of Brigitte was just like, hallelujah.
Oh.
Manna from heaven.
Yeah.
And I love playing her because she's broken and I'm terrible. And that's why it's fun, because it evens out. But yeah, I would love to see how Ashe affects the meta, especially with the introduction of B.O.B.
Yes, her ultimate, B.O.B. And
just hearing her scream B.O.B. do something is hysterical to me.
Yeah, and also just Jennifer Hale being the voice of a character is automatically a win.
I was fortunate enough to meet her once.
Oh, you lucky motherfucker.
She is. I wound up next to her on a plane to Emerald City probably 6 years ago. Yeah. Apropos of absolutely nothing. She was in the middle seat of, I want to say it was a Southwest flight. Again, years ago. Going up to Emerald City, and it was just, we had such a nice conversation. She is so good.
For those of you who don't know, Jennifer Hale is the voice of many, many things, notably Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, which, belated happy N7 day.
For those of you who are a little more Disney-leaning, she is the current voice of Cinderella, and is the voice of Cinderella in Ralph Breaks the Internet.
And also, if you watched Justice League Unlimited as a kid like me, she voiced like 8 people. Killer Frost, Giganta, just a lot of supervillains.
Jennifer Hale is everyone.
Yes, she is.
She's kind of Matt Mercer's counterpart.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically here, but also just in terms of your vocal range is what?
True. But anyway, Ashe's ult, B.O.B., a large Omnic with a mustache, runs forward, trucks people out of the way, stops, and then starts shooting. You've got to summon for her ultimate, and it's a giant Omnic side of
badass Omnic butler or bodyguard.
Yeah. Who's got like a frickin' like vest and a mustache.
Have you seen the gangster skin for them?
Yes.
He's got suspenders.
Yes.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But I've seen a whole bunch of videos, and I've seen the player update from Jeff from the Overwatch team.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't have a last name anymore. He's Jeff from the Overwatch team.
Yeah.
And him talking about how B.O.B., while he's summoned, he lasts for a minute-ish, 2 minutes, a while. And he can be treated as any other character. He can be discorded. He can be healed. He can be nano-boosted. Which I am excited to see.
What do we call Nanobob?
Nanobob.
Oh, come on. There has to be a better name than Nanobob.
I'm sure that someone will come up with something, but it lends itself to that portmanteau in much the same way Boostio does.
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at Nanobob, and I'm thinking that every Anamain out there is like, I can what now? He's how big a target? He's how easy to hit? Hell yeah, let's go. He's got like 1200 HP to begin with. So while you can attack a B.O.B., it's not always the best use of your time.
Yeah.
I found a video of someone testing out everyone's ults on B.O.B. And it's one of those things where, like, Torbs is actually pretty dang effective because B.O.B. charges and then stops. So if he stops in the lava, he just takes continual damage.
Yeah.
But, like, if you
really
can get him
him.
behind a Symmetra shield, you're good to go. He can be pulled in by a grav. He can be, blown up. All of this fun stuff.
Yeah.
But very, very rarely are you going to get an ult that can straight up one-shot him.
Yeah.
He can also take out a charging Rhine. Like, if he and a charging Rhine run into each other, they both get knocked over, and then they both get back up.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. Like, he's not an invincible ult. He can be countered, but I'm excited for Nanobob.
I am too.
I am.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to just see her enter play because she's going to be in the playable pool well before Overwatch League resumes.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we have another hero as well before Overwatch League resumes, because that's not till February. And they've said that they have the next, I want to say 6 heroes planned out.
Yeah.
We still have the person that we saw in that one photo of, we've been calling them Old Overwatch, previous Overwatch, who was running with Ana and Jack and Reinhardt, and that, like, we have a black woman hero, and I'm just waiting for her to be developed and released. There's a huge push for her, and I, for one, am 110% behind it. She's already in the lore. We could use another Old Overwatch person. I'm down. I'm interested. I'd love to see her. And we also have the introduction of the 2 other founding members of the Deadlock Gang. Those 2 other people that we saw in that photo, those 2 other people that we saw in that nice little "we're family" montage where it's the 4 of them doing the 4-way hands in. Like,
I thought it was the triplets and Bob and the Onyx Sniper.
It's the 4 founders.
Oh, okay.
One of them's McCree, one of them's Ash. We don't know who the other 2 are.
I gotta go
yet.
back and rewatch it then, because I missaw that then.
But that's a little bit of canon, is that there's 2 other people that founded the Deadlock Gang, and we don't have them yet.
And then, of course, we have the other character introduced in this cinematic.
Echo. Who is also confirmed to be a hero at some point.
Yes.
We had a full-on Melfina moment where we just kind of remove the robot lady from the box. I'm like, why is this a sci-fi trope? Why is there always a woman in a crate? This is super weird.
Yeah.
This is a Firefly thing. This is an Outlaw Star thing.
Yep.
Like, we've done woman in crate more than once, and I think this is the least creepy that it's ever been.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah. Well, Firefly comes with its whole other bag of issues with that one.
Firefly has many, many issues. And honestly, Outlaw Star's got a couple, but they managed to be less creepy than Firefly for many reasons. Yeah, watch Outlaw Star. It's pretty damn great.
I love Firefly as well. I can't help it, but
yeah, but I'm no longer pushing for renew it, because there's, once you learn how many problems there were on the back end, and once you get a perspective,
specifically with Whedon,
and once you get a perspective on the season from someone who's not white, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, there's problems.
Damn good show, but goddamn.
Why in a world where Chinese is one of the main languages are there 0 Asian characters?
Yep.
the biggest pin in the board. Like, why? What? Why? Okay, this is not a Firefly podcast. But anyway, we have a woman in the box in sci-fi yet again, and we have Echo.
But yeah, cool Omnic lady that is going to be showing up in some capacity down the line.
I mean, they confirmed her to be another hero, so
Yep.
we'll see.
Yeah. We
More
don't know.
Omnics, more women. If we never get another white man hero, I'll be happy. just to watch the people who get real mad about the fact that there are not as many white men in the game.
I don't get it. I don't like the. I'm not gonna go into a whole diatribe about why this doesn't make sense to me, but that doesn't.
I had to delete so many racist comments from my reaction to this.
Oh, I saw some of them.
Because we talked about how there is a push for a black woman hero, and I am 100% down for that.
Yeah.
And I am sure that Blizzard, upon the release of their next 6 heroes, one of whom I hope this Old Overwatch hero is, will have the same attention to detail for all of them. Like, Blizzard doesn't half-ass new Overwatch heroes.
They really don't.
As much as people complain about, oh, well, Wrecking Ball. I'm like, shut up.
They telegraphed
Wrecking
that.
Ball was fun.
Yeah. They telegraphed that. They built backstory.
Yeah.
They, incorporated bits of him into the maps and all that,
And I mean, it's perfectly fine to introduce someone who comes out of left field and doesn't have a connection to existing lore.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jazz handsing at Diva here because she has nothing to do with anybody.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
people love her.
Yeah.
Like, it's perfectly fine to introduce a new hero who is not in any way connected to any of our previous heroes, because we've got some great heroes who did not start off connected, like Lucio.
Yeah.
It took forever for us to go, oh, there's a Vishkar connection, because it took forever to Blizzard be like, by the way, there's a Vishkar connection.
Yeah.
But again, also, Symmetra takes forever to be like, oh, wait, there might be a Talon connection with Vishkar. Like, we have a whole bunch of heroes who are not connected to the larger lore. They make their own pieces of it, but they're not connected to Overwatch, Blackwatch, Talon, etc.
Although it seems
And that's fine.
they're slowly building it up,
they
building
are.
those connections.
I'm still waiting for our 10-part miniseries on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me. I need it in my life. Let me shove my face against it and cry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that we're going to get, oh, we need a hero to fill this spot, so we're just going to crank one out and throw him out there. Like, please. I have more faith in Blizzard than that.
Agreed.
But I would absolutely love for them to sit down and planning their next heroes and be like, who have we not represented?
Yeah.
And we don't have a black woman. Orisa does not count. She is an Omnic.
Yeah. She is a robot.
Effie is not a hero. Thank God she's not a playable hero. She's 11. I was definitely worried about putting an 11-year-old in combat. But yeah, no. We need that gap. We've laid the groundwork. We have that photograph. We have someone else who was running with that team.
Yep.
Let's see her.
I'm with you.
I'm super
100%.
excited. I was super excited for Ash when she showed up right the fuck out of nowhere.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
oh my God, yes.
Made me very happy.
And the scuttlebutt that I've seen was that she was not initially going to be a hero. And when they were messing around with her kit, they loved her so much that they decided to do the thing. And then she almost got scrapped again because Bob was such a problem.
Yeah.
He was a Bobrum. That did not work out as well as I'd hoped.
No, it didn't.
But I don't care.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. That's the show.
And on that note, good night, everybody. No. Regardless, Overwatch is doing, like, we've needed some tweaks for character kits, and as we've seen, we've needed overhauls for some people who don't fit as well into the going meta as we'd hoped, namely our turret heroes.
Yeah.
Those have been our two big overhauls, are our turret heroes.
Yeah, because they're so, like, specifically useful.
Yeah. But yeah, so I have faith in Blizzard and I have faith in Overwatch and coming up with these next few heroes, the 6 or so that they have planned. And I am stoked as hell to get Ash out of the PTR and into the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to be terrible at her, but I don't care. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to really see the final version when she gets added.
And I'll be interested to see how she affects the meta. But yeah, super excited.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Ah, it's been a good week.
It has.
It's been a very good week for Overwatch.
It has. We'll have to see if anyone manages to flip a table before the next time we record.
I'm sure it will happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll happen.
I'm wondering if things won't slow down a little bit for the holidays.
I think it'll slow down for the holidays and then pick up again after the new year during that like run up to the league renewing activity.
So, because we still have, I want to say 4 of our teams don't have branding yet.
Yeah.
We have 3 Chinese teams that don't have branding, and then I feel like there's another one that's just...
We know nothing about Vancouver.
That's the one. That's the one.
Give us Runaway or just fuck off.
Or just, give us colors and a logo.
And Runaway.
And a name.
And Runaway.
Okay. It's going to be Vancouver Sprinters or something like that.
I don't care what the fuck they are. If they're Runaway, I'm buying that goddamn jersey.
That's on your Christmas list, isn't it? Dear
Yes.
Santa, I want Vancouver to sign Runaway. That's all.
I got to meet Runner and Flower Van at the World Cup. It was great. It was awesome. I'm happy.
Well, all right then. Well, okay, in the comments, we want to know your Overwatch wish lists.
Yes.
Your
Please.
doesn't necessarily have to be specific holiday themed, but we want to know your Overwatch wish list. We want to know what you want.
Who you want to see, what moves you think would be interesting to make.
I just really want one of the teams to have pink as their main color.
Runaway, just...
Also, female players.
Yes.
Just women. Women in the league. We all know that that's where my flag in the ground is.
Yes.
Just women in the... So that's... Your wish list is Runaway, and my wish list is pink and also women.
I'm behind this as well.
Doesn't necessarily have to be the same one. Doesn't necessarily have to be the same team. Just, that's what I want. I want pink, and I want women. And I definitely want more women on the desk as well.
Yeah, also please stop overusing red and blue, because did you see the colors for the Paris Eternal?
Are they red and blue?
It looks straight up like palette swapped NYXL.
No! I mean, I get it because their flag is red, white, and blue, but also no! Bless them.
And cut.
Bless them. Anyway, where can the people find you?
At @the_rage_nerd on Twitter.
And I'm Katie. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. You can follow us on Twitter at OnThePointPod. And as always, helping our sponsor helps us. So head over to fredsbs.com, fredsbs.com, and use coupon code OnThePoint for 20% off of your entire order. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if we'll
another
do
long
one next week, depending on how many...
Depends on what happens.
It's going to depend on the news.
Yeah.
So follow the Twitter, follow us. We'll keep you up to date.
All right. Bye.
Bye.